Wait a second. People think we're getting a secret ninth episode of Stranger Things season 5 and that the finale we got was actually one of Vecna's lies. Let me explain. The theory is that Mike and us as the audience are under Vecna's curse, and everything we've been seeing is actually one of Vecna's lies. Now, I personally think this is incredibly dumb, but let's break down the evidence. Now, starting off incredibly stupid, people think that because Vecna stands like this, and everyone in the graduation ceremony also has their hands in the same position, this is all a part of like Vecna's illusion or something. But I'm sorry, how else did you want them to have their hands laying here? A lot of people are trying to point out similarities to like the Truman Show. I point into things like people looking at the camera, but I'm sorry to break it to you. In the top half, they're looking at Hopper proposing in a restaurant. Yeah, you're gonna look over and see what's happening. And at the bottom, they're looking at the graduation stage. Other people are pointing out that everybody's haircut looks similar to Vecna's in the epilogue, which is kind of fun. Now, as much as I want to laugh at everybody that believes this, there are oddly some convincing points. Like if you go to the Squawk Radio website, it says Volume 3 status lost. In the epilogue, in multiple houses, you see the What's It game in the background. I actually caught this myself watching the finale, but I think this is just a nod to Mr. What's It in this series and The Wrinkle in Time, obviously. In the scene right after 11 dies and you go from Mike to then transitioning into the epilogue, it cuts to black and you can hear a heartbeat, and people think you can hear Vecna's clock also ticking here. I'll play the clip here. It happens right after it cuts to black, but before you hear the first heartbeat. I still think this series is dumb, but this one's kind of convincing. But I think the heartbeat's really just to allude to 11 actually being alive. This line by Max is another one people have been dissecting.
Wait. Hold on.
Sorry to burst your bubble. It's just a corny line from the Duffer Brothers being like, yep, we ended our story with everybody living happily ever after, pretty much. And people think we're going to see an episode on January 7th because not only is it a week after the last episode came out, they also rolled a 7 in the last game of D&D, which is what Will actually rolled in the first episode when the Demogorgon got him. But for every convincing point, then you get another one that's the dumbest thing you've ever heard, like them being like, oh, every main character has someone behind them wearing glasses like Vecna. Like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm wearing glasses. I'm not a part of Vecna's curse, I promise. Like, people are looking at their books and be like, oh, it spells out X is a lie. I think what this is all really proof of is if you look hard enough for anything, you can trick your mind in believing something that's obviously not going to happen. Especially when you start getting to some stuff like this where people are like, oh, how could Max have graduated with the others if she was in a coma for 2 years? It has to be because Vecna's making a vision and thinking that she's graduating. Like, no, I'm sorry, you're watching a TV show that takes place in a very small town in Indiana. They're gonna let the girl that was in a medical coma for 2 years graduate high school. It doesn't mean Vecna was making a vision. Don't get me wrong, if they were really alluding to this all of volume 2, like there are multiple moments where like Lucas looks at the camera and says, I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe in coincidences. And Holly looks at the camera at one point and says, guys, you gotta believe me, when she's talking to the other kids, but she's looking at the audience. It would be incredibly cool if the Duffer Brothers had some mastermind just theory planned up. And I even saw the Duffer Brothers on an interview where they were talking about the fact that, oh, they've read hundreds of theories online. Nobody guessed the ending, which obviously, if the ending was just the fact that 11 was going to have a sacrifice, I feel like a million people predicted that, including myself. This would truly be groundbreaking and make us all appreciate them as these master storytellers, but I feel like people are just setting themselves up for being disappointed. But either way, it's fun to talk about. Let me know in the comments below what your theory is. Do you think it's happening and we're getting a secret episode on January 7th or not? And if you want to see all my other Stranger Things videos on the channel, like my rankings, saddest deaths, and my review of the finale, click the playlist above my head right now.